Muy buenas, pues bienvenidos al episodio número 14 de Afinados. Es un episodio un tanto especial, básicamente porque es la primera charla que hago en inglés en el canal. Por eso os pongo por aquí ahora un vídeo explicativo para si necesitáis los subtítulos de traducción instantánea de YouTube, que los podéis activar. Y nada, deciros simplemente que ha sido un placer, un honor tener a Martin Miller aquí en el canal. Ha sido una sorpresa también muy agradable que me aceptase la invitación. Y veréis que es un tío majísimo, que ha sido una charla muy amena, muy agradable. Y que, bueno, de gente de este nivel pues se puede aprender muchas cosas también. Entonces, nada, seguimos apoyando al canal, porfa, darle like, suscribíos, compartid, para que pueda seguir trayendo a gente, que esto no pare, que la verdad que lo disfruto un montón y espero que vosotros también, ¿vale? Os dejo con la charla. Un abrazo. First of all, I want to say thank you. For me, it was a surprise, a good surprise, to have your accepting me my invitation. It's a small channel. I'm trying to do something with the guitar world and artists, and I'm lucky, man, because I work in a big store and I have the opportunity to work with great brands and great artists. But here,
A music store?
sorry,
A music store?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a big music store here in Barcelona. It's one of the biggest in Europe. It's Alfasoni. You're
Okay.
supposed to,
I've been to Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I've done a clinic in Barcelona, but it was not at that one.
yeah. I remember that last year you had to be there with Tom Quayle to make the presentation of the Lane Iron Hair.
Yeah, that was in Madrid.
Yeah, yeah, but
At-
but the morning it was in Barcelona, like a small video. And,
Yes, and I didn't. My flight was cancelled.
Yeah, I remember that, and for me it was like, oh, he couldn't come, but my boss tell me, oh, do you want to make the video with Tom? And I say, oh, of course. So
It's a very big channel too, right? I
Yeah.
remember it. It was very impressed how big the channel was. Yeah.
So they give me your guitar, and I try to do something like, for me it was very difficult to get Tom on the side, and it was
It's difficult for me too sometimes.
no, but not the same. Yeah, and we have a little problem with this guitar, because we sent this guitar to Madrid because they didn't have it on the store that you went. And then when the guitar come with your signature, it was like a little bit break for the shipment or something like this. And now this guitar is in a museum here in Barcelona.
I know, because then after the one I signed was broken, you sent me another one to my home, and I signed it here.
Okay.
So that's another guitar.
I thought that was the same one.
We're very unlucky with Spain and guitars. So that guitar broke. The other guitar, that other flight I had to Madrid was cancelled,
Okay.
and then I had a flight to. The flight to Barcelona was cancelled. Then I had a flight to Madrid the next day, and they lost my guitar.
Oh, in this flight.
Yes, and it was a direct flight, and they lost my guitar. Took a week to get it back, but fortunately, my community on Instagram tagging the airline like crazy, because I heard nothing back from the guitar for about a week,
Okay.
and then the public started getting really angry at the airline, and so they started pushing the case forward, and they found my guitar and got it back. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was my main guitar. It was my number one.
Okay.
One prototype. It was, yeah.
The first guitar that you made with Ibanez?
The first MMN.
Yeah, the new one.
First one of the new ones, yes. And it's been my main guitar for over 2.5 years.
Okay.
It's my favorite guitar of all time. It's my absolute favorite. And
so,
I was like, I was always like, I always am so fearful, like I'm taking other guitars on the road. But you know what? I want to have fun on this clinic in Madrid. I'm going to take the number one.
Yeah, okay.
Got lost. And that was the last time I'm taking that guitar on a flight.
Okay. So now you are traveling with another guitar, like the...
Yes. Yeah, luckily, minor distribution. Distributor of Ibanez guitars in Germany and East Europe and those countries. They sorted me out with a backup. I went there and they had 4 guitars to choose from, 4 MMN ones to choose from, and I chose my favorite. And yeah, that's my travel guitar now.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how does it start with the brand, with Ibanez, with your collaboration with them, or how is to work with brands like this, because it's one of the biggest, and also with Lani, and how this started?
Well, I was I guess an Ibanez and Laney fan for my whole guitar life. Like I've played Laney amps since I was 18 or so. Played Ibanez guitar since I was 16, and I was always naturally drawn to those instruments. And I don't know. I don't give it too much thought. I'm not somebody who has like a grand plan or a master plan. My kind of idea, the concept that I go by is that I try to do a good job, try to show up on time, try to be a nice person, and eventually people will notice, or they may not notice, and that's okay too. And Ibanez and Laney noticed. They got in touch. Laney first in 2014, so I've been playing Laney officially as an endorsee for 11 years now. So the representative of Germany, Tom Weise, he got in touch with me. What I really was impressed about and what I really liked is that years before he got in touch for business, I know he already asked me, can I have your album? Can I have your CD? I like your music. I want to have it. Sent him my album. And then while they just was very complimentary about it, but there was nothing happening business-wise. So he was genuinely interested in my music and my playing, which is what I think is really awesome. And then the business comes after that. So that's my favorite way of doing things. I'm very grateful.
That's great.
Yes. So it's not just, we have to get, this guy has a lot of views or something, we have to get him a product and place it. There's a genuine connection. We actually like what you do. We want to support what you're doing.
Okay.
And it's the same with Ibanez. I've been with Ibanez since 2015, and basically right away we started developing product ideas together, such as the AZ range. And that now, obviously, with a company that size, that takes about 2 to 3 years to turn such a project around. But they were really interested in me contributing to the design of the guitars and the AZ range as a whole. So that's something I was never able to do before, which is really cool. Somebody actually cares about my opinion. That's amazing. And so I can see my influence, and of course a lot of other artists' influence in those guitars. So that's something that I'm also very grateful about. It's really special. Yeah.
And how is the moment that you start creating this model, this custom model for you with the people of Ibanez? I think it has to be something like special, no? To make. Yeah,
well, that process was actually very quick, because by the time they offered me a signature guitar, the AZ range as a whole was already, the design was already pretty much agreed upon. So actually it was maybe 1.5 years before I knew about me getting a signature guitar, I was involved in giving my input into the AZ range. And at that time we were going over like hundreds of headstock designs and pickup configurations and body shapes, colors, color options, fret numbers, tremolo systems, etc. And when it got time for me to make a signature guitar, the only thing I really needed to do was to pick a cool color and turn it into a mahogany guitar instead of an alder guitar. And then some cosmetic changes like the chrome hardware to make it a more cohesive look. But by the time I got to refine my signature model, the work had already been done, because the work was to, we want to have a guitar with stainless steel frets. We want to have a guitar with a roasted style neck. We want to divide it into 24 frets and 22 frets with 2 humbuckers and HSS respectively. Those types of big questions were already answered by that time. And not saying I did that. I'm just saying it was a constant back and forth
Okay.
with me, as well as a bunch of other artists that were giving that kind of input.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
It's very nice guitar, I have to say.
Yes, it's I gotta be honest. My favorite is the current one, the MMN one.
Okay.
That's the HSS configured. It's just that one is something special. Slightly different neck, slightly different radius, very different pickups. A non-recessed tremolo, stays in tune incredibly well. It sounds beautiful. It's my favorite guitar ever. Yeah, especially the first one, the very first one. That one is near and dear to my heart. That one is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
I will try another 100 guitars, but that one is the one.
Yeah, something special.
That suits me the best, and it's identical. It's identical to the factory guitar, 100% identical. It's just you know how it is with a guitar. You can have 10 guitars of the exact same production type, and each one is started automatically for some reason. That was from my show last week.
For the Monday that you had the
yeah, it was my birthday show.
Yeah, so happy birthday. I have to say. It was a special party. It's 40.
Yeah, like I thought, you know what? If we're gonna celebrate my birthday, I want to do something that I'm good at. So let's play a concert. And so we did. It was great fun. Yeah.
And you made it.
And my voice is still a bit rough. It was the first time I was partying in like over a year.
Okay.
I'm a very vanilla guy. I don't drink alcohol, but for that birthday, I was like, screw it.
Yeah. You were in Leipzig, in Germany.
That's right.
And that's the same city that you have been the whole life, or you were in another cities?
No, I moved here 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I've never strayed too far from home. I'm born like 120 kilometers from here.
Okay. I've been like four times in Germany. I have one of my biggest friends here in Barcelona is from Mannheim.
That's great.
Yeah, I love it there.
Yeah.
But I tried to learn some German, but it's very difficult for me, no? Yeah.
But in Mannheim, there's the annual guitar summit. I don't know if you've been there.
No, I was there playing, but with the band, but it was like Seven Club or something like this. It's like a club or something to make concerts, but no.
Yeah, nowadays there's a show there called the Guitar Summit. It's like a 3-day guitar event, and it's fantastic. It basically replaced Musikmesse.
Okay. In Frankfurt.
It's such a good time. Yeah.
Okay. And have you been in NAMM this year also in California?
Yeah, I've been this year for the first time in many years, but I didn't tell anybody that I was going.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just supporting my partner there.
Okay.
She was hustling there a lot, and I wanted to give her some emotional support. Myself, I had to be in the studio 2 days after NAMM.
Okay.
And record with the band, and I had to sing a lot on that session, so I could not get sick under no circumstance. So I went to NAMM for 1 day.
Yeah.
Couple hours only, gave fist bumps only, disinfected my hands, no hugs, no nothing.
Okay.
And I made it as quick, and the rest of the time I stayed in and prepared for the recording session. Yeah.
Right now, you are recording a new album, or you with the session band?
We just did a new set of videos with the session band. That was like actually last week. We recorded a bunch of new stuff, so that'll be rolled out over the course of the year. And I'm also making a new original music record. That record is, as far as writing goes, it's finished. Drums are recorded, guitars are recorded, most of the vocals are recorded. There's some keyboards and some bass missing, and of course mixing needs to take place. But yeah, I'll finish that throughout the year as well. I remember that my last record took me like 5 or 6 years to finish.
Okay.
5 years, and this one took only a year. Yeah.
Okay, so
I've longer record too. So I've become much more creative. I don't struggle so much anymore to find something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the new album from the last in 2023, I think.
Last one was 2023. Yes.
Yeah. I was listening the other day, and it was like I like it a lot, but it's like I think it's very the influences from the 80s and 90s and everything progressive and symphonic. And how do you started playing this kind of, because usually you think in Martin Miller or an artist like Ibanez artist or a guitar artist, and they are playing more like guitar solos and something like this, and this is more like elaborated, more like creative and singing melodies and everything. So it has a lot of work behind that.
Yeah, like for me, I want to make music that I would want to listen to.
Okay.
And me as a listener, I'm not interested in hearing guitar all the time. It makes me tired. So if there's music that is only centered around the quality of the guitar playing, I zone out very quickly. Like I grew up with my favorite bands: Metallica, Queen, Dream Theater, Nirvana. That I got a really big into like fusion, Pat Metheny, Mike Stern, Michael Brecker, and those types of things. Toto is another remarkable band for me, and that's the kind of stuff I want to be doing.
Okay.
I want to make music that I would want to listen to. I want to make music for people who like music, not necessarily for people who want to learn a lick or two on guitar.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want that music to speak to somebody who enjoys music. And I think if you center it around the guitar playing too much, you tend to push those people away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm agree. You're enjoying most the creative part of the thing, like the writing or playing live these songs.
That's a good question. I think I gotta have both. I think life would be very stale without one or the other.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm a little more drawn towards the creative process. So the creation, the turning nothing into something, coming up with something that didn't exist before and now it exists, and putting that out there and sharing it with people. I think that is kind of what I feel like I'm born to do. And I love sharing that live as well. But with live playing, there's always that stress element as well. And in the studio, it's just, I feel like there's nothing more liberating than being in the studio and having time to write music, because that really means that nothing else is going to disturb you right now. You don't need to worry about, I don't know, administrative things. You don't have anywhere where you need to be right now. You don't have something better to do. No, now it's time to reach inside and put something out there that hasn't existed before. That is still my favorite thing in the world to do, probably.
And when you are playing live, maybe it's very different when you play your own songs and you're playing the session band, the covers, for example. How do you feel when you play the covers, and otherwise when you play your own songs?
That's an interesting question, because I haven't played my original music live yet.
No? Okay.
No, that's something I haven't done because I haven't managed to put a tour together for that. It's complicated these days. The touring economy is very, very difficult. And we've toured with the session band, and even though we get a lot of people coming to our shows, it's still hard to make it work.
No.
But I can tell you, with the session band, I'm having the time of my life on stage. I enjoy it so much. I don't care whether it's my music or somebody else's, because we play the music the way we feel like we would play it. So we put no creative restrictions. Yes, we're doing a cover, but everybody plays whatever they want, whenever.
Yeah.
It's pure anarchy.
Okay.
It's joy. It's a joy. We're sharing the joy of playing music. And that's why I think there are so many musicians in our audience, people who also play covers. And they can probably relate what it feels like to play this kind of music and put your own spin on it. So for me, that is, I find it overwhelmingly awesome thing to do, to be able to go on stage and play music for people. I think it's that's why I did it on my birthday, you know. Okay. I could have done anything on my birthday. I decided to play music.
Yeah, for me too is one of the most special things in the world to play, live, and with friends is the best in the world.
Yes, and there's also that social aspect that I get to share that day with the brothers in my band, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a great thing, and we hung out afterwards and partied. Like we get along so great with each other. Everybody likes each other, and it's such a camaraderie, and it's a community, you know.
I think it's an energy that you can feel seeing these videos. And this, when I see you playing some covers or whatever, you feel like there is a special energy over there in the studio.
Yes. And that's why, I mean, we could just record covers at home. Everybody has a camera and the studio set up. We could just film ourselves at home and put it together. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that would be interesting. No, it's interesting because of the chemistry in the room and the way it's filmed. Like we film it in a way that you can see people play with each other. It's not, here's a camera on one person, there's a camera on another person. We try to film it in a way that really captures what it's like to be in a room and have eye contact with everybody that's in the room. That's why we're standing in a circle, right? We're not standing towards, like we're not pretending to be on a stage and facing an audience. We're facing each other. Okay. And yeah, like for example, Marius, the keyboard player, he's like my oldest friend. We've been friends for 23 years now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and still making music together. It's fantastic.
And how is to play with people like Matteo Sasato or Paul Gilbert in your session and playing this music, and it has to be something really good to
yeah, for me it's like fulfilling my childhood dreams, you know.
Yeah.
Other people spend their money going on vacation and taking photos there that they can look back on, and I make videos with Paul Gilbert that I can watch when I'm 75, yeah. You know. And for me, it's an opportunity to play with my old time heroes like Andy Timmons and Paul Gilbert, mm-hmm. And I also get to play with like the new hotshots like Larry Basilio, Mark Lettieri, Matteo Sasato, etc. Mm-hmm. And see those people in action. And for me, it's very inspiring. Everybody approaches it differently. Everybody thinks about it differently. Everybody has their own spin on it, and I get to absorb some of that magic that they bring. That's great.
You have to learn a lot with these different kind of guitar players. It has to be.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the new guitar players that they're like Tim Henson or Ichi Kanito or Marcin? People that they are playing like a new style of playing guitar.
Well, I have to dig a little bit deeper. Like I know Prolifia are like very innovative when it comes to creating a new sound. That's something that I really appreciate. It's a very recognizable sound that they have. Mm-hmm. I mean, imagine living in the 21st century and coming up with an identifiable sound. That is no small feat. That is very impressive. And I've seen Marcin live. He's an absolute machine on guitar. It's like unbelievable. Mm-hmm. He plays that stuff in his sleep. It's incredible. But there's lots of young people that are like supremely talented these days. Some of my favorite players, however, they have. I like people that personally the most that have like a bit of an old soul, that are very grounded, mm-hmm. that are very spontaneous, mm-hmm. and that are a little bit raw and rough around the edges. That's something that I like about Mateos, because Mateos is sometimes perceived as this super polished Instagram guy who plays these perfect arrangements and perfect lines. But when he's with a band and when he's playing on stage, he just goes for it. He improvises and he bends a note and he slightly overbends it, but he has no fear.
Yeah,
he just goes for it. And the energy he puts out is incredible. And I feel like that type of skill is lost to the newer generation. Something that he's probably one of the last people to be born to be like that.
Okay. Understand.
Into that kind of culture. So that's something that's very unique to him. There's lots of other fantastic players like I wouldn't even know where to start. I like this guy Ben Younson. He's younger than me, I think. He's a fantastic fusion player. I like this guy Christian Maschetta. He's fairly unknown, an Italian guitar player. He's just incredible. I love a lot of the new breed blues players. I love Philip Sayce. He's fantastic. Eric Gales, Joe Bonamassa, a lot of these newer blues players. I say newer. They're all in their 40s now, right? But so am I, since a few days ago.
And what do you think about the music situation right now with the stream platforms and everything, that you can get some new music every day from every places around the world, and like in 80s and 90s was different, no? You have to buy a lot of music, you have to talk about the music with other people, not only with internet or whatever. Yeah. How do you live this?
It's as with anything, there's two sides to each coin. I don't think I would be having a career in music if it weren't for streaming videos and audio. Because I don't come from a place where there's a massive music scene. Like all the musicians I play with, they're from completely different parts of Germany or Europe or the world. So I have nobody local here that I play with on a regular basis. So that's amazing. We can put our playing out into the world, and people can accept it, and they can look it up and check it out and decide whether they like it or not. That's unique to this era that we're living in right now. There's a few things that I feel like are getting lost in the process. It's like the convenience and availability of music over everything else has kind of lowered the value of music. I kind of liked not having too much music to choose from. When I had 20 Deutschmarks as a kid, and I could spend it on one record, you would very carefully choose what you spend that money on. You take that record home, and you will listen the shit out of it, because that's what you spend all your money on.
All songs from 1 to 10.
Yeah, and nowadays, if something doesn't click with you instantly, you just move on to the next thing, and that's kind of sad. Like I feel like because of the incredible convenience that we can consume music with, it has lost some of its value. And obviously, there's so many other distractions that take place in our lives that take away from music. So once again, I'm very grateful that I lived through the 90s. And I've experienced the early 2000s, and I've experienced what it's like when music used to be the main thing that you use to identify yourself to others. It's like, hey, who are you? Well, I'm Martin, and I listen to Metallica. All right, you're one of those.
I was in a small city in the Basque Country for my birthday, from my first 20 years of life, and I was it was like a small group of people that was like heavy metal with the long hairs, and it was punk people, and it was the same that you saw in the t-shirt that it was from Metallica or from Skid Row or for whatever. And it was like this. And now maybe you can see someone that listens to death metal, but you don't see it.
Yeah, music was just a bigger part of our lives. It was almost sacred. You know, and I remember actually taking time during the day to do nothing but to listen to music. Like I would actually lay down with my headphones on and listen to music actively. Not as a background activity, you know.
The underground with the headphones, everyone with the mobile, but it's like something in the background. It's not you're thinking about other things. Do you remember what guitar was your first guitar, and you still have it?
I do still have it. It's somewhere in a storage unit, and it was a Hondo. A super cheap guitar that when you duck too hard into the strings would fall out of the saddles. It's a terrible instrument, terrible. like beginners guitars are so much better these days. It's not even a comparison.
When was the first time that you listened to someone play guitar and you thought, wow, I need to play this guitar? Or was a guitar that you had at home or your father played?
It was probably my dad or my cousin playing a little bit of guitar at home. Not to a very particularly high level, but my cousin had an amplifier and an electric guitar. The amplifier had some distortion in it. Heard distortion the first time. I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
And then obviously I listened to music. I listened to the Rolling Stones. I listened to Pink Floyd. And I didn't even necessarily know what the guitar was. You know, it's just I just liked the sound of that music. And then somebody told me, well, that thing that you're hearing there, that's the guitar. Okay. So I was drawn to that. I was drawn to compression and distortion early on. I remember the first time hearing distortion from an amplifier, I was like, that is cool. That sounds so impressive. How can such a small input, just like brushing over a string, create such a massive sound? That was always fascinating to me.
You are a teacher also?
Yes.
You make classes. So, for you, what is the biggest advice that you can give to a beginner that want to play guitar?
I mean, once again, we're having completely opposite types of problems these days from what it used to be. Like, I was born in GDR, East Germany, and luckily I wasn't too old when we reunited with West Germany. But back in those days, it was basically impossible to get any kind of information on anything, especially cultural. So if you wanted to learn guitar back then, you'd have to go to extreme lengths to find a book or a video on guitar playing. And once again, once you've secured that source of information, it would be sacred to you. You would absorb every last bit of it. Okay. So really the challenge back then was acquiring information. Now we have a completely different problem. We have all the information in the world at all times, anywhere. How do we make sense of it?
Yeah.
So how do we go through the noise? So what I would recommend still, even though there's videos, even though there's online courses, even though there's AI, I still recommend seeking somebody out to help you in the form of a teacher, for instance. There's a reason universities haven't closed despite books, videos, YouTube, and AI existing.
Yeah.
You know, there's something special if you have a personal relationship with somebody and that person has an interest in helping you out and helping to get better at what you want to do, and seeking and somebody who's experienced enough to make sense of the mess that is presented to you these days.
It's one of the things. No? You have to get someone that explains to you how to do it well, but also how to not to do it wrong when you're playing an instrument. Because in the internet you can find a lot of people teaching, but maybe it's difficult to know if you are well seated or you are doing something that is wrong.
Yeah, you need feedback. You need somebody to judge what you're doing.
And you are now making classes online, or you're working on let's say.
I'm doing a few things. I've written a book not too long ago. It's called Modern Rock Guitar Soloing. I'm very happy how that turned out. It's on Amazon. You can check it out. Just type my name into. Oh, there you go. How do you like it?
I got it. I started like 2 weeks ago, and I started watching the videos that you put it on. I think very interesting, but I don't have too much time to get in it. So I have to. I will tell you in a couple of months, I think. But it's very interesting.
I'm currently. Well, I'm going to kind of spoil it here, but currently working on a video course based on the book.
Okay.
So, and that includes some lessons that myself and my co-author, Luke Lewis, have learned along the way, and from some feedback we've gotten and some of the methods we've refined. So we're working on a video version of that, and we filmed it already, and it's going to be incredible. I'm so excited about that. It's nothing quite like it. It's going to be hours and hours and hours and hours long. So that's happening sometime this year. And yeah, I'm currently opening up private lessons again. I haven't done that in 3 years, but you can go to my website, martinmillerguitar.com. You can book a lesson. I'm currently accepting students.
Okay, very interesting.
Not too many. It's very limited, but yeah, I'm doing it a little bit. I do it also not just for the students, but I also do it for myself because I don't get to play much guitar these days. Freaking adult life. But this way, at least I get to play some guitar and chat to people. It's great for me. It's great for the students. They're having a blast.
They can enter to martinmiller.com and
and you find there you go hit lessons and there's a link where you can book. Right now that link is broken and I need to sort my website out. But yeah, it should, by the time this video goes up, it should be fixed.
So you got a lot of things now with the new album, with the session band, with the videos and everything. How do you make to everything work together?
Yeah, I don't make it work. It's a constant struggle.
Yeah,
it's probably the toughest thing I'm facing right now is time management. Or I face some other tough things, but that's one of them. Okay. Because I have so many administrative things that I need to be taken care of right now that are really taking a lot of my time. So I don't have much time to be creative right now. I don't have any time to practice. I don't even have time to finish my record or finish some videos right now. It's just that is a constant and ongoing struggle. You shouldn't be asking me because I'm not great at time management. I think it's a problem that we have everyone here in the new era of a lot of things and a lot of. And it's complicated to work and have the projects and manage the time. Usually it's difficult to find people that is like, no, I had one project, I'm doing well, I have a lot of time. It's like very difficult maybe to. Yeah. It's the way modern society is set up is very stressful. Like we have all these incredible luxuries. Like on our hands, and I'm very grateful for that. Like, I don't think I would have wanted to live in the medieval ages, you know. Okay. But it comes with its drawbacks and like the stress that the system we live in imposes on us is one of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I wanna ask something that they always do with the other guests. And this if you can recommend me like 2 or 3 artists or bands that you like that are maybe not the mainstream, you know, for the people to know new music or new bands that can be interesting to listen to.
There's a band from Australia that I really like. They're called Voyager. Mm-hmm. They're like a modern prog band, and I sometimes struggle with the modern prog sound. For me, it's too overproduced, too quantized, too everything, it's too much of everything. But those guys are special. Those guys and girl are special. Mm-hmm. I think they have, like Danny, the singer, is really exceptional. Such a beautiful voice, very unusual for the genre, and the writing is just incredibly catchy. So Voyager, they've taken part at the European Song Contest, the Eurovision Song Contest. So they're not that unknown anymore, but yeah, they're special. I love what they do. I don't check out much new music, to be honest, but yeah, once again, there's a bunch of new guitar players that are really something. Like I absolutely love Philip Sayce. Mm-hmm. He's really beyond incredible. Other than that, I listen to the same old stuff I've been listening to for the last 25 years. My brain hasn't developed much in those years.
And who are the influences in your guitar style playing?
Well, it's a mix of like my early influences, John Petrucci, Steve Lukather, Steve Morse. Again, I include some of those neo blues players, Joe Bonamassa, Josh Smith, Eric Gales. These types of people have an influence on me, especially more recently. Mm-hmm. And then there's a jazzier side to my playing, like Mike Stern, John Scofield, Pat Metheny, especially the fusion jazz players of the 80s are a huge influence for me. Mm-hmm. 80s and 90s. that's kind of that's kind of the feel, like the slightly heavier guys like John Petrucci, Paul Gilbert, the blues guys, and the whole world of jazz and fusion. It's somewhere in
between of
between those three fields that I find myself in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think you can hear it when you see you playing these influences that there are all, but I think it's something yours also, because
so
no, but
if your influences are diverse enough, eventually you'll find something that is uniquely you.
Yeah. But it's the same that you said before, that it's difficult to have a new sound or something special, because everything is like sounds to like the other bands or other.
Yeah, that's something that I really don't like about modern recorded music. Mm-hmm. Like everybody uses the same drum samples. Yeah. Everybody quantizes the drum beats. Everybody tunes the vocals. Everything is on the grid and on the grid exactly, and it homogenizes music. It takes the personality out of music. I think that's why the session band is so beloved these days, because we don't do those things, and it's much more raw and honest.
One of the things that I saw in your videos, in your music, was the surprised me the most is the vocals. Have you been working on it aside the instrument with teachers or something, or it's something that you got for your practice, your own practice?
I only started singing at age 31. Like I started in 2016 or so. I started really late. It's something I've been working on and will continue to work on. Mm-hmm. Like right now, just that we're sitting here, my vocal teacher texted me. I sent him the recordings of my birthday show and was like, check this out, let me know what you think. And so he was sending me feedback. It's something I continue to work on. And actually, as of recent, I've been reworking my vocal technique completely in like the last 1.5 years. And what's interesting is like I have videos coming out now, like we did It's My Life with Mateus Assato, Bon Jovi cover.
Yeah.
And that was recorded at the end of 2023, and that was still kind of my old vocal technique. Okay. So I have not got anything to show for. My album sounds vocally completely different, because that was after I reworked my approach. Mm-hmm. And the new videos that we just recorded in the studio now, they will have the new type of sound that I'm creating on it. So I can't wait to share that, because it's been basically 1.5 years of very diligent work to get my to improve and change my vocal technique. So it's something I take lessons regularly. I work on it a lot. I would these days I probably practice more vocals than guitar. Yeah, because now I have way more experience.
Yeah,
and if I practice 1,000 hours on guitar, the returns I'm getting are so small.
Yeah,
but if I practice vocals for 50 hours, it'll be like night and day.
And do you think is more difficult to get this technique, to get this change for your voice to get better with with an instrument? Maybe it's different, no? Because
it's exactly the same.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's reworking muscle groups and muscle memory and habits and repetition. The difference is that you're working with a biological instrument. That means you have no visual feedback. You cannot tell somebody to put their second finger on the G or something like that, you know. It's a little bit different. So you have to go more by sensation and purely by sound and sensation. That's very interesting. But if you have a good coach who really understands what they're doing, then it's just like learning any other instrument. However, I would really recommend to not use YouTube tutorials to learn to sing, because you need feedback, and that feedback is very specific to the way you sing right now.
Yeah.
So somebody could be saying, "Oh, you need to sing. You need to push less air," but maybe that person that sees that video is pushing too little air, they need to push more air.
Yeah.
So, and since you're working with the voice, there is an element of health involved that you can really mess yourself up if you sing the wrong. You can really mess yourself up. It was on my birthday gig. There was one line that I sang, and I tried to match the sound of the original record. I cannot say what it is yet because then I would spoil the next medley.
Yeah, okay.
But in that song, I was mimicking the original recording, and I shouldn't have. It was a very smoky room. It was very bad air, and I was singing this very breathy part. And after that, for like 2-3 minutes, I really struggled getting my voice back.
Okay.
And that's something you learn. It's so interesting. Like you don't wear out your hands like that.
I don't sing usually, but for me it's more difficult to see because of the how you breathe. You know, with the instrument, it's difficult to play, but I think, and also how you listen it, because you don't listen the same that the people that are listening to. You know. It's for me it's a little bit difficult, but I don't know. I'm not a singer usually, but
I think I'm a little bit more gifted for the voice as for the guitar, because for the guitar I had to play so many freaking hours before I could hit a stage, and with the voice my mother sang in church choir. We sang at home, and
okay.
Like using my voice in that way, even though I didn't actually pursue it, but it was natural to just be able to melody. And of course, now you have to refine that a lot. And I'm not claiming to be even an averagely good singer. I'm not. But if I compare the time I've put into singing, what I got out of it, it's a much better deal than what I've put into the guitar and what I've got out of it. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of hours with the guitar. Yeah. You started like practicing a lot every day, like a lot of hours, or it was like progressive? So I started like
I got into it progressively.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't obsessed from day one.
Okay.
It was then when I started listening to guys like Steve Morse and John Petrucci, that I was like, holy shit, that's what I want to be doing in life.
Yeah.
And then I started pursuing it more seriously. I got really obsessed. I neglected school because all I could think about was playing guitar while I was at school. And when I was out of school, all I did was play guitar.
Yeah.
Did not read the books I was assigned to. I knew what I was going to do with my life. Okay. And I had outgrown school at that point.
Okay, so I have to say thank you. Thank you for this time with you. It was a really pleasure, a really honor to have you. I don't want to take you more time. Maybe next time we see you here in Barcelona.
It's such a beautiful city.
Yeah.
I remember when I was there in 2000. I was there in 2018.
Yeah.
And Tom and I had just been to Lisbon, and there was a huge thunderstorm in Lisbon. And when we flew to Barcelona, it came over the same day. It chased us around. It was one of the worst landings I've ever experienced. Oh. But the city was absolutely stunning. I absolutely, both Barcelona and Madrid are just absolutely incredible.
But here, but here we have the beach. In Madrid, they don't have the beach.
True. I've been to Ibiza last year. I've been to Mallorca in the past. I'm German, of course. I've been to Mallorca. Yeah. So yeah, it's such a beautiful country. I have so much more to discover. I'd love to see Valencia, Sevilla. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you come here playing someday with the session band or wherever. And
that would be awesome. Yeah.
I will see you there, and also at the store if you come here with Ibanez or Lani, whatever. I will be there, and so thank you for being here in this small channel, and I hope your projects and everything will be. And cool. Thank you. See you next time.
Man. Talk soon. Thank you so much, man. It was a great chat.
Thank you. Bye.